Hey YouTube, I wanted to show you real quick and kind of talk about the fractional currency or the postage currency that was issued back in the mid 1800s. So the way this worked is around the Civil War, people started basically hoarding all their silver and gold coinage, and the U.S. government saw the need for having fractional pieces, so they printed up 5 different issues. This is an example of the 4th issue. They printed up 5 different issues, and they made denominations from 3 cent all the way up to 50 cent. And every issue kind of has their own denominations too. Some of them have multiple. I think every one of them probably has a 10 cent or 25 cent. But the 15 you don't see in the earlier issues. So they started actually issuing these and printing them on August 21st, 1862. If you know your history, that's early part of the Civil War. And they printed these all the way through like around the middle of February in 1876. So they had a good 14 or 15 year run. And these were used, and they weren't just some kind of little anomaly that faded with time, but they were used and circulated. And you usually find, if you do find these, they are usually on the dingier side of things and kind of crinkled because they were printed on decent paper, but they are really small. And this is in a standard PMG holder for a regular sized issued bill, and they put it in a little sleeve and center it up for you, and you get this nice display. So with this being the 4th issue, and I really like this note. I got it. Let me see. I got it about 6 years ago, and I bought it at an auction for $25. And the deal is, I bought it. I have a lot of fractional currency, but nothing that I thought was this nice. And I bought it thinking, man, that's an easy AU. And obviously I was wrong. But if you look at the note, which I'll show you in detail here in a second, if you look at the note, it's never been folded. There is no issue with the note at all. And I mean, it might actually, be mint state in some people's eyes. But I sent it into PMG, assuming, I'm about to get an AU50, AU55, and I was going to be extremely happy with that after $25, especially. And they sent it back as choice very fine, 35. It didn't even hit extremely fine. And this has been my worst grading strikeout, I would think. And I still can't figure it out. But that's beside the point. I really care a lot about the history of these. But if you look at the note, you see, maybe the corners are a little rounded. That one's real nice up there. And the note itself is just really nice. These things are watermarked. It is, obviously we can't really see the watermark with this very easily. But they are watermarked, and I'll talk about the issues here in a second. The back of these is really cool too. They have threads in them, and with these notes, they did 2 different, or actually they did 4 different varieties. And one of the varieties is extremely rare and extremely valuable, especially for what it is. So this is, all of them have the Allison Spinner signature combination on them, and they all have that big red seal in the middle. Now this one is obviously designated watermarked, but there is an issue out there that looks a lot like this that is not watermarked, and instead of having like blue fibers, which this one, there's a little bit of a pink fiber. You don't see much of the blue fiber in this. I promise it's in there. The ones that only have pink fibers and are not watermarked in this shape would bring $450 to $500. Mint state ones go well over $1,000. And I've hunted for those, or for one of those, for years since I found out about them, because a lot of people don't know their fractional currency well. And I'm not saying I do, but the fourth issue I've always thought were really, really beautiful notes. And as with the fifth issue, if you don't know your issues or anything, just go check them out. The fourth and fifth issue especially are just really, really cool notes. But this note right here in this shape would probably value in about the $75 range. Maybe a little bit more, but 75 I think is very reasonable with it. I think in very fine, they'll bring, not very fine, in fine, like very lower, very fines, they'll bring $40 to $50. But there is a little bit of a jump as you move up. But I appreciate the view, and hope I at least taught you something. And let me know what you think about the fractional currency, and if you know any more history on it and want to share it, leave a comment.